It is episode 161 of Left Side Heavy, the podcast. It's just your host, Jevin LaFave. Hayden is partying it up in Mexico right now, so he's probably in one right now, probably face down at the beach somewhere with a few too many daiquiris thrown down. But I'm more than happy to be joined by two friends of the show, two absolute beauties of the show, registered beauticians, if I may say. Emile Tracy, Scott Ani, with the fresh cut.
Oh,
It,
refresh.
unrecognizable at this point. How's it going, boys? Thanks for joining the show.
Uh,
Unrecognizable.
big time.
It's going well, buddy.
Yeah, it's going good, man. Going good.
How's so we're all from the BCIT Radio Arts and Entertainment program. We were just kind of shooting the breeze before hopping on, but how are your practicums going with Nux Army and BCHL kind of stuff? How's that going for you how's that going for you boys?
It's going good, man. I mean, I think getting the experience, it's been nice. It's been like a week and a bit. So I think just dipping my toes into some of the work that I can get into after he's nice and have really nice people helping me out along the way. So it's been
I've
good.
been doing a lot of the same stuff I do for the Nation Network, a lot of writing, about hockey, but I've been able to do some interviews, players and coaches, got a little experience doing that. It's fun actually having, something, not just opinion to write about, some actual like facts and stuff rather than just, throwing it out there.
So are you just working from home, Scott? Like, is that what your kind of thing is, and you just kind of
Yeah.
book
Yeah,
interviews?
there's an office. I can go in if I want, but most of it I can just do from home. So it's good.
Fucking rights, boys. Fucking rights. Well, we're just over a week and a bit into playoff action, and the episode last week came out on Monday. So and I don't have time to record 2 episodes a week. So we got a lot to talk about, boys. Many storylines. A lot of things are going to be outdated, but since it's such a packed episode, we're going to get going right away, and we're going to probably start with the biggest and most complicated series to put a finger on right now, if I may say, in my humble opinion. Toronto Maple Leafs and Tampa Bay Lightning. This has got to be probably the most complicated series to judge going into any game. Tampa opened it up game one with a whopping 7-3 win, but then Toronto countered, played the old Uno reverse card and won 7-2 in game two. And then it's been nothing but overtime games with Tampa choking the leads and everything, Tampa outplaying them. But I want to hear your boys' opinion on how you guys think about this series so far. Scott, I'm going to go to you first. As a Leafs blogger for the whole entire season, what have been your opinions on just generalized opinion on this series so far?
Well, it's probably happened pretty much how I thought it would. This Leafs team is the best team they've had. Tampa isn't quite the same team. They've played a lot of hockey. I thought the Leafs would take it in 6. Right now, it's looking like it'll be hard for them to, lose another game in this. That comeback was incredible. Good teams don't do things like that. I don't think they can beat Boston, but I would be shocked if they lost this. I know Montreal came back from them on 3-1. But this Leafs team, they're a very, very good hockey team. They have been all year long. I thought they would beat Tampa. They haven't yet, but they're just a really, really good team. Everyone's chipping in. Top guys look amazing.
Yeah. For me, I think it's kind of weird because Michael Bunting got suspended, and then the Leafs have just gone on a 3-game heater. Like with Matthew Nyes. I mean, I know they're hyping him up, but he has looked pretty good in the playoffs for a guy that's a rookie. And I mean, I had the Leafs in 7. I mean, to have them win in 5, if they do win it at Scotiabank on Thursday, would be huge. But they are the Leafs, so anything can really happen. I mean, they did do these 2 amazing comebacks. I didn't see them coming back in any of those games, especially yesterday. Like 4-1 down with 10 minutes left. I was like, there's no chance. Matthews gets 2 quick ones. And then Riley scores. I'm like, oh, there's no way. And then Kerfoot.
They got a recipe too. All their goals, 4 of them yesterday from point shots. Some seeing eyes,
all
some
point
tips.
shots. Yeah. They're getting the greasy goals. They're getting some greasy goals that they need to score in the playoffs. And yeah, Tampa just doesn't look the same. Vasilevsky looks off. He just doesn't look like he's been the guy.
I mean, just what we said though. 4 of those goals, man. 3 of them are tip-ins. One of them's 6 guys in front of the net and it goes through, and the other one's in Matthews friggin' cannon from the slot. It's like,
sure, yeah, but that tip in too from Matthews was unreal. Like out of the air, just like so casually, just made it
So
look
impossible.
so easy. It was ridiculous.
And it's not like it was like
cheese.
it's not like it was a floater shot from the point too. Like it was a rocket from the point, and then like
Yeah.
a deflection at the high slot. It's kind of hard to react. And it was like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was tipped through a screen as well. So it's
Yeah.
like Vasi had to like adapt to the change of direction as well as fight through a screen. So it's like Scott said, it's going to be hard for many goalies in the world, especially one of the best in the world, to stop
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
I
But
think
at the same time, too, Vasilevsky might be the guy that does stop those sometimes. He
exactly
doesn't
no,
have to, and he shouldn't have to, but the
Well,
goalies who
yeah.
make those saves are the ones who are winning, going on playoff runs.
But the thing that's crazy to me is the big guy I see who's really chipped in this whole entire thing has been the deadline trade of fucking Ryan O'Reilly. Like
yeah,
he is putting in like some some good work, winning draws, just like winning battles. Even on that goal, I think it was the first goal he scored by Achari yesterday. He just like picked the puck up from Kucherov, made a play to the point. Then it was like a tip and goal from Achari, and it's like that doesn't happen without O'Reilly doing that hard work. And like that's a big pickup they got at the deadline for sure. That's helped them out.
yeah.
Like what's he got? Like 7 points, 4 games, not bad, not bad.
Yeah, I mean they call him the factor for a reason, right? He shows up when it's most important, and he's won that cup in 2019, right? So it's just like he brings so much to a group that's trying to get over the hump.
Yeah,
And there's just something about this Leafs team where it's like their goaltending isn't like amazing, but Samsonov is like played his best when it counts most, and that's in the dying minutes of the game in overtime. Obviously, game one sucked, but he fought back in game two.
yeah,
And I was talking to my uncle who big Leafs guy, and he's saying the Leafs look like shit and they've looked like shit this whole series. And I'm like, I would take looking like shit and being up 2-1 against the Bolts. Right. So if they're looking like shit and they're still winning the series, you take that because when they're going to play their best, and like who knows what's going to happen. And then they come back from a 4-1 deficit, and it's like it just seems like it's going to be so hard for them to lose this because they've done everything in their effort to like fuck this series up and like give it to Tampa, but then they find a way to crawl back and claw out a win. So now I just think it's going to be really hard for them to lose this series.
yeah.
But they just look deeper than ever, and I can't say I didn't believe in them. I just wasn't expecting this, to be honest.
It's still not over though. It's really still not over. Like
Yeah.
you cannot count out Tampa Bay, but it just looks really good for the Leafs right now. And the fact that Marner's playing the way he's playing, Matthews is contributing finally in the playoffs like they should be doing, like they do in the regular season is huge. But I want to ask you, do you think Bunting's in for game 5?
I
Do you
just
think
had
he
this
gets in?
conversation with someone, and it's a difficult one
Yeah,
because
it is difficult.
obviously
I don't
he's
know
won
if
three
you
in a row, and he's not the reason they lost that game. They were
no,
going to lose
no.
that game anyway. He makes their team better, but do you want to like? It's such a difficult call. Do you want to mess with what's been working?
Exactly.
Bringing Michael Bunting into the lineup isn't going to make them lose a hockey game. It's just not gonna. I don't think you take Nyes out, but you take a different bottom six forward out.
Yeah.
That's not going to make them lose a hockey game. Maybe he's not quite ready. Maybe he hasn't played in a bit. I think I bring him in. I hate Michael Bunting. He's probably my least favorite player in the NHL, but he's an effective player. He doesn't. This is the one time that he's really ever hurt his team like that. He takes a few embellishment calls here or there, or a couple like he'll trade off with a dude and they'll both go out for a rough. But he's not a dirty player. He's not been suspended before. That's not like a risk you have to worry about. He makes their team better. Winning a closeout game is harder than just winning a regular game. Bring him in, make your team stronger.
Yeah, I wanna ask you guys going back to the hit on Chernak. Do we think 3 games was too much? I mean,
I think that's
it
perfect. I think it's
it
perfect.
No, way
it
too
was
much.
it was like
I
it
thought it was
wasn't
perfect.
it wasn't the hardest like hit to the head, but he caught no part of Chernak's body other than the head. So it was a definition of a hit to the head, but it wasn't like cross ice,
Yeah.
net Chernak in the tracks, like that kind of thing. It wasn't like impact, but it was like a definition of hit to the head. I thought 3 games was maybe a bit too much for a guy who doesn't have history of getting
It's
suspended and
playoffs, dude.
like
Like
that.
that's 3 regular season games.
Yeah, I was
One
thinking
or two in the
two at
playoffs.
most. I was thinking
I
two
thought it would
games
be
at
one.
most.
I thought it was gonna be 3 just because I mean when I watched it, I was like, what is he doing? I mean, there was
I
no
don't think he
reason.
tried to hit him in the head though. He was just trying to play the
I
body.
mean,
If there's
for
intent
me,
there,
it just looked like really bad. It just looked like there was
that was a
no need for
terrible
him to
hit.
go. It would just look like there was no need for him to go out of his way and make that contact
That same
Just
play
like
happened
just
between those two already.
just
Though.
like the way he did that.
Chernak took a 2-minute penalty on him in that same game with the exact same hit, but didn't hit the head. It was the same thing. Then both going to a loose puck. Chernak hit him before they got there, and he took a 2-minute penalty because he didn't hit him in the head. So that's all. That's the main reason he was doing it. Most of these playoffs are going to be physical, but also Chernak already got him with that same type of interference in the game. It's the exact same hit, except he caught the head. 3 playoff games is an insane suspension. That's like 10 regular season games. For a team that hasn't been out of the first round in 19 years, missing half of a series, that's 100 regular season games. That's insane.
Yeah, I thought 2 games was perfect. I thought 3 games was a bit too much, but I kind of understand it. I think it was just like a reckless play from Bunting. I understand like he was maybe trying to take the body, but it also looked like Chernak never really moved out of the way to put his head in the tracks where his body was at one point. So I feel like Bunting there, like I never really saw intent of going for the body. I only saw him like Chernak's position was kind of solidified and then he went up to the head.
Yeah.
And like, so I kind of saw like slight intent, but not 100. It was so weird to gauge. I think 2 games was good enough. I was kind of surprised by 3.
I mean, I thought he was going to get 3. I was talking about it with some of the guys at Canucks Army. I was just like, I think he's going to get 3 probably. I mean, 2 at least, at the very least. There's no way it was going to be 1. It was either 2 or 3. And they gave him the max. And I think they did that to send him a message. I think they did that, though, to send a message to him to not be an idiot.
Well, he doesn't do shit like that though ever anyway. Like,
well, he
never gets suspended. He never takes 5s. He just does
a bit of a
chippy little
hot.
stuff
He's
and
known as a
whines.
bit of a hot.
He whines and runs his mouth. That's his problem. It's not that he plays hockey dirty. Like,
Yeah.
he's more like Alex Burrows than he is like a Matt Cook.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair.
He just does that little annoying.
More like a
shit.
Brad Marchand than a
he's not hurting anyone. Oh, don't give him that type of credit. Brad Marchand's incredible. But yeah, he never does dirty shit. He just tries to play physical and he annoys everyone by running his mouth all game and doing dumb little shit. Like, that's why everyone hates him. It's not because he's out like ruining careers and hurting guys and headshotting dudes.
Yeah, that's fair. One hit to another though. Morgan Riley hit on point. It was more so of like a collision hockey play, unfortunate outcome for point. But then the brawl that ensued. Kucherov coming in off the top ropes and taking Riley out from behind, and then Stamkos instigating a fight with Matthews. What were your boys' thoughts on that whole situation? I'm assuming you guys stand on the Riley hit of it being a clean hockey play, just unfortunate outcome. But what were your thoughts on the whole situation?
I mean,
ranging from Riley's hit to Stamkos fighting Matthews for no reason.
Yeah. I'm just glad Point's okay, first of all, because I mean it did look scary. Like he went in there fast. So like glad he's all right. Cause yeah, there was no intent by O'Reilly to do anything bad there. There was no way. That was just 2 guys going in to get a puck in the corner and they're going fast. And
Point lost his footing, I think.
Yeah,
and
like it's just like you slip up, it happens. I loved it after. I love what ensued after. I mean, Kucherov not even hesitating to take Riley down. Matthews picking up sticks, and then Stamkos like, "Are you going to pick up sticks? Let's fight." It was just a good all around like just playoff atmosphere, just electric, just 2 60-goal scorers going at it. Like who doesn't want to see 2 of the top guys in the NHL? Just they weren't really throwing it that much. I mean, Stamkos was. Matthews was kind of like dealing with the sticks and like trying to like get him off, and it was kind of weird. It wasn't like a true fight, but it was nice to see it. Matthews, kind of show some emotion because he's not one to do that.
Yeah.
And Stamkos, I mean, he was just sticking up for Point because that's his guy. So
yeah,
I love to see it. I love to see it. No one got hurt. It was a good time.
Yeah,
Scotty?
Exactly. This is the best part of the playoffs probably so far. And it's not even like, I mean, not even really seeing like Matthews showing emotion. All you did was,
defend himself.
He wasn't ready to go, didn't want to go, and Stamkos made him. And if he didn't, he would have got fucked up if he didn't do anything. He had to. But yeah, that's probably the most excited I've been watching any of this first round all year, seeing those 2 go at it. You love to see it. Like, I know he's not captain, but you don't ever see these like superstar and superstar fights very often.
Yeah.
There's been a few over the years. The best one, Vinny Lecavalier and Jerome McGinley going at it.
Oh yeah.
04 Cup is just that. Nothing will beat that, but this is similar to that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like felt for Matthews. I was like, Buddy's just like standing there talking to the ref, and Stamkos just starts throwing sweater jabs at him, and he's like, "Bro, I'm not even doing anything."
He's got like 3 sticks in his hand.
Yeah,
he's like cleaning up.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
Matthews took a few jabs. He's like, bro, and then he just got pissed and started retaliating. He's like, I'm not doing anything. And
Yeah.
do you think like obviously they're gonna take off both for like 5 for fighting, but like do you think realistically Matthews should have gone as well? Like
No.
he didn't insinuate anything.
I
I
think
feel like
Matthews
if
gets a penalty, but I think Stamkos gets the extra 2 for instigating. Like,
yeah, like I feel like Matthews didn't really do much. He was just kind of like defending himself, and I
yeah,
think Stamkos should have got like a 2 for instigating and like no 5 for fighting or some shit. I
yeah,
don't know,
yeah.
but I was kind of baffled, but no,
That was good television. It was good television.
yeah, it was great television, buddy. It was great. Another thing that should have been televised, but it was more so through Twitter, was Kyle Dubas almost coming off the top ropes onto Tampa Bay Lightning fans and like arguing with them. Like, what are your boys' thoughts on Dubas chirping the Tampa Bay fans? I'm pretty sure that was after the Morgan Riley hit on like point or like that collision. I'm pretty sure that was after the fact. And what are your boys' thoughts on Dubas going at it with TB fans?
I don't know. Stay in your box, shut your mouth, you're a GM. I don't think you should be
Uh,
out there yelling at fans. I wouldn't like that look from my GM, to be honest. Like you've never even won a playoff series as a GM. Who are you to yell at these fans? You've done nothing
Yeah.
so far in your career. It's like, shut up.
for me, I was kind of like, first of all, like they're like real, like the fans are really close. Like I didn't realize, but
That
like
is a little wild too.
like you're
Yeah.
like really close to the GM. Like they were like could like literally have a conversation, which was kind of crazy. But yeah, I kind of agree with Scott in the terms of like you are the GM, like you can maybe say one thing and stop talking, but like he kept talking and like kept saying stuff, and it's like, okay, like let the game speak for itself. Like just go back to, watching the game and taking notes or whatever you do. Like you don't need to care that much about what these Tampa fans are saying. Like you're ahead of them. You're on top of them. Like just relax. Like, but like I am surprised that fans can be that close to a GM in the NHL. It's kind of odd.
Yeah, I was surprised how close. I didn't know they were that close to the GM, but I also like kind of depend on what were they saying to Dubas because I feel like fans started it first, and if
Oh,
like fans are saying some fucked up shit to me and I'm the GM, I don't care what position I'm in, I'm going at him as well. Like I don't care. I thought it was fucking hilarious coming from Dubas, and I think it just brings all that more excitement to playoff hockey. And I would honestly, in my opinion, I'd be like if I was Matthews or Marner, I'm like, that's my fucking guy right there. Fuck those guys. I don't care if I haven't won a series yet. Like, that's my
yeah.
guy right there. I thought it was fire, but
Well, I mean, I guess in the heat of the moment, like
yeah,
he must have been fired up. Yeah, if that's
I
after
just think
the
that in that position, like how important your job, you should be able to tune shit out and take this a little more seriously. Like, I get your feeling though from Matthews or Marner, a Leafs player. I could maybe see it if I was in their shoes, that I might like that. Like, we're all in this together, he's standing up for us type thing. But
yeah,
unless it was like a serious line, like racial shit or something like that, I think it's a lot cooler with no response. Just sit there, calm, quiet, let the scoreboard talk for you.
that's also fair. And also, like, if Dubas started it, then that guy's a fucking tool bag. But like,
yeah.
if TB fans are going at him and like maybe throwing a half-eaten hot dog at him or something, then like I'm going right back at TB
You're
fans.
not
I
getting
don't
that on the
care.
new suit, buddy. There's no
Yeah,
chance. But
exactly.
yeah, if Dubas did start that, then it's like a whole different story. It's like,
Yeah.
buddy, what are you doing? Like,
And I watched the full video, and like for a chirping match, Dubas didn't really keep it going for that long. He said like a few words, like here and there, and he maybe kept it going for like 10 seconds, but then he kind of like stopped and maybe realized what he was doing. He's like, all right, this might get a bad look. I'm the GM of one of the biggest hockey teams in the fucking world, and I'm gonna get a lot of attention on this. Maybe I'll stop engaging with these fans. Um, but yeah, how do you guys think game 5 will go? I'm assuming it's gonna be played when this is uploaded on Wednesday night,
It's
but
on
in
Thursday, I
it's
think.
Thursday. It's Thursday night, so it'll
Yeah.
be
on
a
Thursday.
preview.
Well, how
Yeah.
are you then? In TO, Toronto taking both in Tampa. I'm very surprised by that, but I think they close it out in 5. I think it's just going to be similar to game 3, where it's going to be back and forth and it's going to be a 1-goal game, I think. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa forces 6.
But are you like if you're the Leafs fan, you're terrified going back to Tampa for a game 6? in there. I mean, I know you've won 2 there. You have won 2 in Tampa. Like Tampa hasn't won at home, which is big, but you're terrified not winning game 5 if you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. You want to get it done ASAP.
Yeah.
Like there's no way, but I do think they get it done on game 5 in front of their home crowd. I think with the effort they've shown in the past 2 games, I think they're gonna just come in with a bit of a mojo in their own home arena. They have, all the pressure is really on Tampa for them to come back into the series, and they got some pressure too, but Tampa, like, it's do or die for them, right? It's not do or die for the Leafs. So they're going to come in here, and I think they'll win 5-3. I'll say 5-3.
Yeah, I thought that before too, but I changed my stance just because, none of these guys have ever really won a series. A couple of them have, I guess, and O'Reilly, whatnot. But this Leafs team's never won. They say those closeout games are the hardest ones. Tampa played them for 40 minutes and even 50 minutes maybe in game 4. So with the experience in Tampa, they've been in elimination games before. They know what it's about. I think they can pull it out. I hope they can pull it out. They're not too banged up, but this Leafs team looks good. I still think they have the series, even having to take game 6 in Tampa and then, go back to game 7. But I think Tampa can hold on for one more.
So you think it'd be in 6?
Yeah.
So Toronto winning it in Tampa.
Yeah.
Damn.
They've already won there twice, like you just said.
No, you're right.
No, that's a really good point with like Tampa like having outplayed them, but it's just like you guys have shown nothing to be able to fucking close out a game yet. Oh, look at that.
Daisy, who do you think's winning?
How's it going, Daisy? Give your opinion. What's your opinion on Dubas tripping the TV fans? Nothing?
So,
That's fair.
Daisy doesn't like the Leafs. Daisy hates the Leafs.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. Sharks fan.
I love that. I love that. Oh, Evander Kane scored 1-0 Edmonton. No, yeah, I think it's gonna be
nice.
I think it's gonna be
the Draisaitl
Islanders held on too.
Oh, did they? Fucking right. Yeah, I think TO closes it out. I think it's gonna be a 4-3 game, and Matthews gets 2, and he gets on the board early. I think he gets the home crowd buzzing early, but then I think Kucherov's also gonna have a Kuch game as well. But Vasi needs to play Vasi. Like he needs to play up to his potential, because right now it's been tough sledding for him.
It's been tough. It's been a little tough. It's been a lot of goals for him giving up, but I mean, I like how he. Did you hear Cooper was going to pull him in the second period of what I think is game 2 maybe, and he said no. He's like, I'm not getting pulled. Like I'm staying in this. Like he's like, fair enough. Like you're not going to say no to that guy. Like let him play. He's the main guy. He is the best goalie, I think. So
yeah.
I mean, you got to let him in if he wants to stay in, but it's tough. He has let in a lot of goals, but it's not like the goals haven't been good. Been good goals.
Yeah, it's some of them are like not his fault, so we can't really fault him. Well, since we mentioned Evander Kane putting Edmonton on the board early here in game 5, we're gonna go to the Edmonton LA series. We're gonna fast forward. They're a little bit later in the episode, but since they're playing right now, it only fits that we talk about them. Back and forth series as they come. I think Edmonton's been the far better team for like majority of the series, but Edmonton's shown, or not, LA's shown that they're like just as good, and there's a reason why they're giving Edmonton this much. But there's just been so much like inconsistent reffing. There's just been a ton of different storylines here. Draisaitl going God mode right now.
Yeah,
but LA's depth is really coming through in this series. Emile, what have been your thoughts on this series, and has it gone the way you've expected it?
I wouldn't say it's gone the way I expected it. But that's kind of lies, because I do have Edmonton winning in 7. So it's looking like it probably, if there's a series that's going to 7, it's probably going to be this one. But I just think like McDavid surprises me a bit, because he hasn't been producing as much as I think I envisioned him producing with the season that he had. But Draisaitl, man, oh my God, he's been on the ice for what? I think 14. Every single goal that the Oilers have scored, he's been on the ice for, which is just a ridiculous stat, especially in the playoffs. So I think it's just ridiculous what they're doing. But LA is really showing that they got depth and they got defenders. I I think it's pretty amazing how they've kind of halted McDavid's, I mean, a little bit of his scoring, just for a little bit. But I mean, their goaltender Korpisalo is pretty good. He's doing pretty good. I think the goaltender for Edmonton, Stuart Skinner, hasn't been pulling his weight, but I think he's starting today, right?
Yeah.
He started today. I think Campbell came in clutch last game, but yeah, I just think Draisaitl like right now is just on a heater and it's unreal. I think I got to give more respect to Philip Deneau of the LA Kings. That guy is an absolute unreal shutdown center. He's just real. He's unreal. Like he makes the right play almost every single time he's on the ice, and it's pretty remarkable because I took him for granted when he played for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
So.
Well, like McKinnon in an interview said, like out of all the players he's played, the hardest player to play against was Philip Deneau, just because of how much he clamps down on you because he's a two-way center, right? He's one of the more underrated players in the league.
100%.
And his job typically from the head coach, whether it's Todd McClellan or whoever was fucking Montreal's coach before St. Louis. I'm having a brain fart here. But
oh fuck, I forgot too.
I'm surely they were just like, hey, you see number 29 on Colorado, just shadow him and just be a prick. And he does that. And he also produces on offense and he comes in clutch. But Scotty, you walked away from there for a bit. I want to hear your thoughts on this Edmonton LA series. What have been your thoughts so far?
I'm mostly just surprised. I didn't think LA stood a chance in the series. Edmonton's so hot coming into the playoffs. You know, you got great players like that. It's very rare you go this long without winning anything. And by winning anything, maybe even making a final, like not necessarily a cup. But we've seen, you know, Crosby won one so young. And there's been some issues with the teams they've constructed over the years. But I felt like this year, after their last couple months, I really thought it was at the West was Edmonton's. And now, you know, I still think they get out of this series, but I'm not as convinced as I was. I just didn't think LA had it. I know they have some good players. I don't think they're on Edmonton's level, but they've proven me wrong so far. It's not like Edmonton's all over them and they got a goalie saving them or anything. Like, it's been a competitive series. We do need more production from McDavid if we want them to win. I don't want them to win. I don't like Edmonton, but if I want to be right, they're going to win. I have them winning the cup in my bracket. And this just, you know, could be the test they needed to really get them going. If you walk through it all, sometimes that's not the best route to winning it all. I think that, you know, Draisaitl McDavid can give you 4 points a game, and even if their team isn't perfect, that can be enough to win a lot of hockey games and go on a run.
Yo, Emile, you know that guy that we were just talking about, number 2-9 on Edmonton?
He just scored?
Scored again, buddy. Making it 2-0 Edmonton right now.
Yeah, this guy's
his Conn Smythe odds were stupid. I didn't put a bet down. They were like fucking plus 4,000 or something. Like Sebastian Aho had better Conn Smythe odds than him.
Yeah, I know. What is that? Was he on the ice when Evander Kane scored too? Like
probably
he's even on the ice for every single goal the Edmonton Oilers have scored this series. Like that's a ridiculous stat. Like that is insane if that's true.
I know he plays with Kane on even strength.
And I don't know if he was on the ice for that one.
Well, but still, like he's on the ice for 15 out of 16.
Probably wasn't. It looks like the first one was a PP2 goal because Nurse and Ekholm were out there in his power play.
So, but he's been on for 15 out of 16 of them. Then that's still insane. Like it's still
it's dumb. But the thing with Edmonton,
2 points for Ekholm tonight so far too. That's a massive addition. He's been better than anyone could have expected.
Yeah, and
I agree.
Like Edmonton's defense was always labeled as like pretty suspect, and I think just that Ekholm addition just like brings it up enough to like make it really solid. Where occasionally fuck ups from a guy who I have on my list here, Vincent Desharnais, probably the biggest. I thought Tyler Myers was a liability. Fucking Desharnais on Edmonton is one of the biggest liabilities ever.
That's why they dress 7D, man. What the hell was that about?
And in game 4, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't play for like 33 minutes. I swear he didn't play for like half of the third period. And for good reason. I saw this guy lugging it up on a breakout. He had 3 open guys in the neutral zone, turned it over, and LA scored after that. I'm like, yo, this guy sucks ass. And I found out he got benched, and I'm like, deservingly so. So I think if like, because Edmonton, I feel watching them, it's not necessarily that they've been dominant, but I've just noticed that they've just been the better team, and LA's just capitalized on Edmonton's fuck ups, where like Edmonton's carried the momentum throughout every single game, and Korpisalo just made the big saves. And then like it's fuck ups from like Desharnais, undisciplined penalties, and then LA scoring on the power play, and then Skinner just like letting in some absolute muffins that just like absolutely bring the morale down. So I
Yeah.
just think if Edmonton just, even if they just clean up the penalties that have been called, and mind you, one of the points I have is like the reffing has been dog shit in this series, whether you're an Oils fan or LA fan.
I'm sorry, but what was that? What was that call on Fiala on Draisaitl? I mean, I know it
One of
tied
the
the
worst
game, but
calls in the
but but
playoffs,
but, but
man.
I was really confused as to what that was. Like I was like, it's a trip, but like it looks like he completely just like hits Draisaitl in the middle
Just
of the
stands
ice.
him up.
Like
He
it,
just stands him
yeah,
up.
and like it wasn't even like it was a hard hit. Like Draisaitl just kind of like fumbled down. Like it didn't look dirty at all. I was like, that's a
The
penalty.
officiating's been, as it always is, super questionable this
No,
playoffs
that
once
was
again.
yeah. When I saw that, I was like, these guys want this game to go to OT. You're putting the best power play
They're
ever.
calling a lot more stuff than they normally do in the playoffs
I
Yeah.
too,
agree. Yeah.
which
And
is, I mean, it's good. A lot of people complain about that. It's like, you should referee the game the same always. Hockey's hockey. It shouldn't matter if it's postseason or not, but they're still letting a ton of like chippy cross checks go, and then they call the one when they want to call it. Like there'll be 10 cross checks uncalled, then they call one, and it's like you either can't call it or you call it. Like you can't
I
just
think
choose when it's a penalty and when it's not.
I think
yeah,
that's I think Draisaitl was talking about it too after he's like they don't know the line of like where the consistency is, where it's like
yeah,
you can get it like you just said, you can get away with one thing and then you do that in the third period with 3 minutes left and now they're calling that a penalty and in crunch time. You're like, what are you doing? Like this has been going on all game. It's weird, it's suspect, and it's not good. It's just not good. I mean, at least that sent Edmonton to overtime, they score on the power play, whatever, but like still that's not a penalty, even in the regular season. That
yeah.
Fiala hit on Draisaitl is not a penalty at all.
Yeah, it's hasn't been great. There's that Arvidsson embellishment in the middle of
Oh,
the ice
Kings
that they
scored? Who scored for the Kings?
I have follow.
I follow.
Evan Bouchard, Oilers defenseman, turned it over
Well,
again.
he.
And
I mean,
then
he
he's
He's
been
been
great.
really good though.
No, and I'm just saying like
he has a lot of points for defenseman right now.
like an Edmonton turnover, and then LA capitalized on the turnover. It's just a matter of like if Oilers just got to clean up these simple mistakes,
Yeah.
and then they I think they kind of run away with this. They just got to clean up their act a bit, and yeah, the reffing needs to be changed across the entirety of the playoffs. I just find the majority of the shit calls have come in this series.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to touch on, Velarde high stick. Was it a high sticking in overtime where Trevor Moore scored in game 3, if I'm not mistaken? What are your boys' thoughts on it not getting called back? Was it truly inconclusive evidence? How do you guys feel about that?
I thought it was hard to see, and you have to go with what you saw on the ice. So like, a lot of times when you slow these things down, in a lot of plays, other than like stuff just crossing a line, which I guess you could say this is because it's weather. It's like when it's super slowed down, it takes away from what the play actually looked like live. Not maybe not this type of play. Maybe that's more with like hits. But it's just too hard to see, and you have to trust what they saw on the ice. I couldn't tell really when I saw it, but
yeah, for me, I think they made the right call. I think they made the right call because I don't think at least through the replays that I saw when I was watching the game, I don't think there was enough evidence for me to be like, okay, yeah, that definitely hit his stick. That's a high stick. I think, you got to go. It's true. Like if it was called a goal on the ice and they have no evidence to, overturn that, keep it the way it is. And that's what they did. I think it was fine. I think I have no problem with that at all.
Yeah, it was really hard to tell. I thought it touched the blade, but again, I don't have like a solid opinion on it because it is kind of like a gray area. But I think I feel like I saw the blade move a bit, and I feel like it only moves like that if the puck hits it. So I think like I would have understood if they called it back, and I'm a little biased because I want Edmonton to win, and I was really pissed off when they lost that game. But I think it was a high stick, but I understand him not calling it because it was kind of gray area. And also Brett Kulak scored. So it's 3-1 Edmonton now. But
oh my God, I'm missing a first period and a half right now.
I know. I keep turning over my left shoulder and a team's celebrating, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I haven't seen
Kulak actually had a really good game last game. Yeah. I was watching him last game. He had a really solid game. I was flying.
Yeah. Backdoor feed from McLeod and just wide open. Nice. Wide open net.
No, but this is sorry. I just want to say this is one thing I feel like Edmonton has been missing too, because I mean, they got Draisaitl scoring, but like the depth scoring hasn't been that great in the playoffs. Like Hyman did score a huge goal, finally scored for the overtime winner because he hadn't scored all series. That was a huge goal for him. But like even Kane wasn't producing that much. It was like an empty netter all he scored. Now he scores today. Then he got Draisaitl who's doing his thing, and then he got Kulak. So it's good that they're getting more, production from other guys because it can't just be McDavid and Draisaitl. Like that's not going to win the cup.
Yeah, and I think the moment that might change Edmonton's momentum in this playoffs was that one save from Campbell against Arvidsson on the breakaway. If he doesn't stop that with 5 minutes left in the third tie game, whole different thing. But Campbell making that massive save, I think changed the gears in Edmonton, and I think that's going to be a huge momentum swing.
Yeah.
And I heard a good point from the Chicklets guys and saying like they understand starting Skinner because it's a whole different game and giving Campbell to prep and like starting the game, and like he might let in a few bad goals, but him coming in relief, not having to think about it, that's when he stands on his head. So go to Skinner. He's been your guy all year. He got you. He was your goalie during the hot streak going into playoffs. I understand starting him because despite some of the bad goals he's let in, he was still your guy. So you kind of have to show that you still trust him. And I think Campbell's like experienced enough to kind of understand his position on the team now.
Well, I think Campbell's just happy that he essentially won them that game, like you're just saying. So he'll take that W. That's a huge W. That's instead of going 3-1 down, now you're tied 2-2 and you let Skinner take over next game. I think that's the power of a goaltender duo. That's the way theirs has been. I mean, Campbell's not going to be like, I want to go in that now. Like you haven't been there all year, buddy, but you clutched up when you could. Skinner's going to take the pipes and he's doing all right. 1 goal, 1 period, not bad.
Yeah, you got to stick with Skinner, man. He's been their guy. Campbell, again, he's won just as many series as Skinner has in his career. So, like, stick with him.
Yeah. How do you boys think this series finishes off?
Actually,
with how it's going today, I got Edmonton in 6. Like,
I said Edmonton in 7. I actually had them in 6. I do.
Yeah,
I did have them in 6. I
had them in 5 at the start of the series. I thought they might even sweep. I didn't have the balls to put it on that, but
I had no sweeps in mine. I had no sweeps.
I had Boston sweeping.
You know what's weird?
Having no sweeps is a terrible way to go. No balls at all. You got to be willing to push for at least.
Well, who the fuck is who's right? Who's right and who's
doesn't
wrong?
Matter. That's just it's so much. It's less.
Did you think New York, the Rangers were going to sweep the Devils?
That's making a ballsy bet and going for it. No, I had Rangers in 6 maybe.
I think I have Rangers in 7, but.
I only put Boston. I wanted to put Edmonton, and you don't want to sweep as a fan either. It's better hockey, more hockey, better series. But to bet on a sweep takes some balls, and you guys clearly have no gumption out of you guys.
No gumption.
I just have belief in some other teams. But one last point I want to bring up is Doughty. It just seems like he's turned back the clock, and he just feels like the true veteran presence who's making a huge impact for this LA team. And I think he's been very underrated these playoffs. So shout out to Doughty turning the clock back. And as for the series goes, I think I had Edmonton in 7, and I think I'm just going to stick with that. I believe it's going to go 7. I think LA can cloud another win for sure. And yeah, I think it can just go any direction at this point.
Shout out Doughty. That guy, Doughty's unreal. That's an unreal defender. He is such a shutdown defenseman, offensive defense. He's everything you want to be, honestly. And
he's a walking soundbite too.
Apparently he's funny as fuck. So
yeah, he's a walking soundbite. Put a hot mic on him and it's entertainment.
Yeah, he's a beauty.
Speaking of New York, New Jersey, we'll go to that one, the Battle of the Hudson here. Unfortunately, one of the series I haven't necessarily paid as much attention to as I wanted to. I just haven't been able to watch their games because it's been on the same time as like other series. But not one home playoff win, which is absolutely wild to see. I thought New Jersey would at least get one. And when I saw the Rangers win both in New Jersey, I thought a sweep was honestly like on the table because I didn't think they'd lose a game at MSG, but they ended up losing both. It's been absolutely wild. Kreider makes history, scoring the most goals in New York Rangers playoff history, which is
absolutely wild stuff.
Something I was not expecting.
Was he there for that cup? Probably. So he's been on one cup run with the team. He leads original 6 team in playoff goals. They've been to one final, never won shit. That's insane.
It's crazy. Jack Hughes, it looks like he's coming into his own, and LA fucking Adrian Kempe makes it 3-2.
This is a wild game, and we're sitting
yeah.
in this.
Dude, this game's 5 goals in the first period. This is
Should
nuts.
we put this recording on pause real quick?
That's unreal. Kempe, that guy's been playing dirty too. That guy's good.
Yeah, no, 100%. But Scott, your thoughts on New Jersey, New York?
Well, like you, I haven't paid a ton of attention to it. I've been watching it here and there. I'm a pretty salty fan, so I'm a little bit cheesed my team's not in it. So I haven't dialed in as much. I've been really into Toronto, Tampa, but yeah, this has the makings to be an incredible series. You got the geographic rival, division rival, two young teams, lots of star power both sides. I thought the Rangers would take it, and like you said, after taking the first two, especially the Devils being a young team with like questionable goaltending at best, it's like, how are they going to take these on the road? But they came back, they did it. Like it's been getting pretty feisty. We saw a couple former Sharks going at it. Barclay Goodrow, Timo Meier were both getting into it.
Love
Those
it.
guys played a lot of hockey together, and overall, just happy it's a good series because these two teams could be going at it for a lot of years, and there's a lot of young talent on both sides. Hoping the Rangers can pull it out, though.
Yeah, I think I had Rangers in 6 or 7, so it's kind of on track to be that.
They're
but
so much deeper. They have better goaltending.
yeah,
They got more playoff experience. I know the Devils were a better team in the regular season, but everything says Rangers should win this.
yeah, I agree.
I just don't know how the Rangers go from scoring 10 goals in 2 games away, and then they only score 2 goals at MSG. I have no idea how they did that.
The Schmid guy. The Schmid guy coming in making 35 saves. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was nuts. It's like I thought I did
he
not
might
expect...
be a player, man. He could be a guy going forward.
Yeah, he could, but like Jesus, I did not like, especially with the experience though in the playoffs. This guy just comes in and just starts fucking, saving everything from guys like Kane, Panarin, Zibanejad. Like the Rangers, I had them winning this in 7. But I thought after the first 2 games, I was like, this is over. Like New Jersey has no experience. They're done.
I thought it wouldn't go longer than 5 after the first 2 games.
No, literally. Like maybe they'll squeak 1 at MSG, but like that's it. Like not 2.
Yeah.
And then Jack Hughes is a stud, man. This guy, you see the way he stared down MSG after he scored that breakaway goal yesterday? Yeah. Oh my God.
Did you see his post-game interview as well? They asked him about like how he's feeling. I'm pretty sure it was after game 2, and he was like, "Well, he's like, we just got whacked 2 straight. The last thing I want to be doing is talking to you guys."
Yeah, the guy's got confidence for sure. And I mean, the thing is, it translates to the ice. Like if it didn't translate to the ice, it'd be a little bit embarrassing. But the guy's a player. The guy's an absolute player, and he's showing up big time. Like being 2-0 down against New York, the Rangers, and now you're 2-2. You're going back home. That's big. You got best of 3 and you got home ice advantage. So I did have the Rangers in this, but no, I mean, you're a home team in the series. You're not really a home team. Like, no, you haven't won at home yet. So it's an interesting series, but I still got Rangers in 7.
Yeah, I'm hopping on that wagon with you, Tracy. I think the way New Jersey's climbed back, I think this is a brand new series, 100%. And I do think it's going 7. And I just think it'll be a home team might not win a playoff game this series. It's crazy.
Literally, that's the way it's going to go. That's the way it's going to go.
It's fucking crazy. Patty Kane is also back.
Oh, yeah.
Playoff Kane is back. That tuck he had in game 2, nasty.
Yeah. Forehand backhand?
Disgusting. Yeah, forehand backhand, and he actually played defense and caused a turnover. Insane. You love to see it. Yeah. Scotty, any last words on the series before we move on?
The big question is, are we going to see Luke Hughes in it?
That's what I was going to add. I had something on my head, but I play the kid. Why not? See how he does. He looked electric when the few games he played.
The Rangers have
an OT winner, no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in the regular season, his first career goal, Luke Hughes from Jack Hughes, first career goal, OT winner.
Keep the change.
Soon to be Luke Hughes from Jack Hughes and Quinn Hughes after he gets out of that dumpster fire Vancouver is.
No,
I mean,
I
the guy I think that would come
out
of the lineup for him was Kevin Ball, who he was a stud for the World Juniors a couple years ago, and he's still young and has a lot of potential himself. And he's a big boy. He's like 6'5", 6'6", so they might want more of that physical, steady presence. I know Luke Hughes can play D2, but he might be a little bit more high risk, high reward than a Kevin Ball. And now 2 straight wins for the Ranger or for the Devils. It's like you don't want to mess with that now.
No.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see him get in there. And
Why not?
yeah.
No, 100%. I agree. How do you did you give your opinion on how you see it finishing off? Are you sticking with 6 or 7 games or
I stick with what I got. If my bracket picks are alive, I'm sticking with them. We got Rangers in 6.
respect?
Rangers in
Respect.
6. So you have them winning at MSG, winning it all at MSG.
I
Guess so.
they
I guess
can't
so. Yeah.
they can't lose all games at MSG. I feel like they have to win one.
Bro,
So
how do you go into MSG
Nobody's
2-0
even
and
at
not
those
win
games right
one
now.
game?
Everyone's watching the Knicks. Nobody cares about this team right now.
that's
You don't
fair.
think so? You don't think anyone cares?
No, of course people do, but I mean the Knicks are good in New York for the first time in friggin' 25
Dude,
years.
you see New York,
This is a
you see
big
Knicks
deal.
fans, they're so funny, man.
They're
It's
such
insane.
idiots. They're
Out on the
so
streets
dumb.
just hooping. It's so funny.
It's insane.
Yeah, they love it.
All right, so I want to go to this. The main storyline of these playoffs, or the very first storyline of the playoffs, came from this series, Minnesota Dallas, series tied 2-2, alternating wins, questionable reffing from this series as well, but a huge storyline. The Dumba hit on Pavelski. It brought a lot of attention. It was a massive hit, one of the biggest hits I've ever seen, and a lot very unfortunate outcome to a legend like Pavelski. He went off wobbly, needed some assistance, but seemed like most of the damage came from his head hitting the ice and not from the hit itself. They called it a major, called it back. I think they just called it like an interference penalty or something. They changed it to a minor, if I'm not mistaken. No discipline, no suspension or fine or anything going to Dumba. How do you guys feel about that decision made from NHL player safety?
Perfect. You couldn't call it better. Listen, I'm a massive Joe Pavelski fan, always have been. I'm also a fan of hard physical hockey more than anything. And hockey fans who don't like that hit, I hate, honestly. Listen, it was a tad late, a little tad. And this is what I talked about earlier in the pod when I was saying, when you slow this shit down and try to figure out what happened on a play like that, you fuck the whole thing up. It seems like there's 20 seconds between when the puck left his stick and when he gets hit. It seems like you can look at the player's eyes and see like intent to like injure them. That play is still moving so fast, dude. And when you see it live action, the puck is barely gone. Pavelski got caught watching his pass, and that's a place where you don't normally get hit. Okay, in the regular season, Matt Dumba doesn't throw that hit because he takes himself out of the play. He should be at that net. It's not the smartest hit to make. But this is playoff hockey, and you got to be ready for that.
Set the tone.
And exactly, Dumba's want to set the tone for his team. So yeah, it's a tad late. You give him 2 minutes. He did a good job at staying down. There wasn't head contact. Pavelski's head smoked the fucking ice. That's a tough, unfortunate outcome for hockey being a physical sport. And if you don't want that hit in hockey, like I don't want you to be a hockey fan at all. And this is from a guy who's watched, Joe Pavelski play 1,000 games. It's one of my favorite players all time. There's nothing wrong with that hit. It's a tad late. This is the playoffs. You can't be watching your pass.
Yeah, the only thing is like he came off his check to make the hit. So like,
which is why, you don't expect it. It's not necessarily, it's not a smart hockey play for Dumba.
Yeah,
but it's the playoffs, man. You got to be ready for it.
Yeah, and it's not like because like I guess like regular season, the playoffs, like Joe Pavelski probably wasn't expecting it. Like if he's going like cross ice and like makes a pass and continues to skate up, then like maybe you expect to get absolutely hit. But like he already has a guy on him, he's angling him off. Pavelski isn't necessarily expecting that. It's a tad late. Absolutely, it was handled beautifully by the officials and the NHL.
And I love
general.
the rule too, the 5-minute rule. It scares you every time when you go, what? 5?
Yeah.
But they have to be able to review it.
Yeah.
And it was the same rule change they made for the Pavelski hit last time, but they trick you every time. Like they gave Riley the 5 on the point thing, and everyone's like, what the fuck? This isn't 5. It's like, no, we all know it's not 5, but let's give us a chance to review it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is exactly. But yeah, I think it was fine. I think Pavelski he got the worst of it on the ice. That's essentially what happened. Dumba just threw his weight around, got a penalty, and Pavelski, paid the price. Sad to see though, because I don't know how long he's going to be out.
Of course, and I wonder if he's coming back. And like,
the
biggest thing about that is the team has to whatever, they have to deal with that. Yeah, you could say that's against the the code of hockey or whatever. That's not a hit that you make.
That was a fine. I mean, that's just a big time.
Just the way the play is, like Jevin's saying, he's coming off the check. Like that was the same way when Cassian and Kachuk got into it a couple years ago where it came off the wall and came down and laid him out, and everyone was like, well, you never make that hit there because it's a dumb hockey play. You're giving up your position and you're getting out of your position. Well, it's the playoffs, man. Be ready for it.
Yeah.
Pavelski's smart enough. He's played enough games. He had a lapse of judgment and it cost him, man.
And it seems like people are so fucking dumb to not know how physics works, because whenever you hit someone, you leave your feet. Whenever someone
he doesn't leave his feet until after the contact on that. Right?
No, that's exactly the point I'm getting to. But people always assume it's like, yo, he left his feet to make the hit. It's like, no, he was on his feet when he made the hit.
Just like when your arm comes up after a shoulder. It doesn't mean it's an elbow.
Yeah, I thought it was a great hit by Dumba.
People are saying he left his feet, it was head contact, and it was blindside. It was
fucking idiots.
None of those things.
Yeah, they're fucking idiots. It was a great hit by Dumba. At first, you're like, holy shit, that's a big hit. Like, what's this going to be? But when you actually watch the replay, it's like nothing was wrong with the hit. It was perfect. And yeah, I just think it was handled perfectly.
Tad late.
Yeah.
Just a little tiny.
No, yeah, 100%. But another storyline, Gustafsson absolutely stood on his head in game 1, made 51 saves, had like a 950 save percentage. But then they decide to go with Fleury in game 2, who let in 7 goals on 25 shots. Do you think it was absolutely crazy to go with Fleury in game 2 after Gustafsson's performance, or do you still ride with the tandem that you've been rolling with during the regular season?
I think that's crazy. I think that's
absolutely insane.
Yeah, I think that's I think Gustafsson, I mean, Fleury, yeah, he's done it before. He's been there. He's got the experience, and Fleury's like just a legend. But like,
Gustafsson did it yesterday.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like he's got the 1 day rest. It's not like it's a back-to-back in a regular season. Like, let this guy roll on this heater.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's a fireable offense. Fire the coach for that decision alone. What kind of other dumb shit is this idiot going to do down the line?
It's insane.
Goalie set the freaking franchise record for saves against an incredible offensive team, and you don't play him? Fire him. Like, honestly, fire him for that. I wouldn't trust him with anything after that decision.
Because that like completely turned, like, Dallas put a 7 spot on them, and now it's like a whole new series in Dallas's momentum.
And what does that do for Fleury? You're putting him in the worst spot ever. Either he makes 51 saves or he's a loser. Like, even if they won that game 5-4 and he played pretty good, fans aren't going to be happy with him.
Yeah. And what about Gustafsson? It's like, dude, I just made 51 saves for you.
Yeah,
What else do you want me to
do?
It's like, how can I get this starting spot, man? Like, I've been grinding over here. He kept Minnesota in that game.
But do you think there's a way that Fleury could have been like, I don't want to go in, like, let this fucking kid ride it out? Like even he should have maybe known, but like, I don't know if I want to go in. Like, this kid just fucking played his heart out last game.
I think for sure he knew it was stupid, but any competitor is going to want to go in.
I understand that, but like, fuck, like.
How about the Trae Young just hit a freaking game-winning 3-pointer to beat the Celtics?
No way. I thought that game was over. I thought I was what?
They outscored him by 12 in the 4th. Trae Young put up 38, and he had a game-winning 3 to win by 2.
Like buzzer beater?
Yeah.
What series that?
I didn't see it. It's 3-2 Boston now, but I just got an update for it. It said game-winning 3. There might have been time left.
That's crazy. But yeah, I think it's crazy that Fleury got this nod in game 2. Gustafsson comes back in game 3 and only allows 1 goal and solidifies the win for Minnesota. So I think
from the logo.
Yeah, from then on you got to ride Gustafsson.
Oh yeah.
But another thing I want to touch on, the Marcus Foligno penalties.
Stupid.
Ridiculous. What's that Dallas defenseman that he hit and they called interference when he still had the puck on his stick?
I can't remember.
Starts with an H.
Heiskanen?
Hakanpää,
that's who it was. Foligno hits Hakanpää, who has the puck still, and it gets called an interference penalty. And then he takes another
penalty. Neither of them are penalties in any sense.
Yeah, he takes another penalty, but they call it on him, and then it draws Dallas on the power play. They score on both of them, and it was Dallas's game to lose. And it's just a joke about this reffing that we've been seeing.
They got hosed more than any other team, and
it's
Foligno's been around playing hard for a long time.
Kicked out of this game today. Did you see he got kicked out of the game?
Yeah, he did bad shit today, which almost like
he's on tilt. He's
it
on
sucks
tilt.
for what's happened because he's not typically a dirty player. He's a hard-nosed guy. He's been around a long time, a respected veteran that plays physical. So that's everyone's like, what the fuck? Why is he getting these penalties against him? And then he need facts up really bad today. I got 5, and it's like, oh, maybe he is that type of guy.
Yeah.
No, I
That's
didn't
the
think that was
shittiest
that
thing.
bad. I did not think that was
And
that
he
bad.
wasn't great today. It wasn't young.
No, but is
It was
that a game? Is that a game? Is he going to get suspended for that?
He
I
might.
mean, based off your reaction, it makes me want to watch it again. But when I saw it,
Yeah, I didn't
was
For
see
me,
it.
for me, it looks like he's just trying to go out and hit him, and he doesn't look like he's trying to like knee him at all. But I mean,
I think it's
the thing
more
is the
facts
ref.
that like
The thing is the
avoiding the
ref.
hit.
Yeah, I could kind of see that, but for me, it looks like he's trying to go through his shoulder and hit him, and he's not using his leg at all. But his leg doesn't move. Foligno's leg doesn't move. It looks like he's
Dead
using his
knee on
shoulder to
knee
go in.
contact.
But the way the NHL does it is it doesn't matter about the intent with the leg. It just matters what part of the leg of your leg hits the other guy's leg. They don't care about your intent of going into the hit. So it could be a game suspension. I just think it's tough because for me, looking back at it, was it Foxa who got hit today? Bro, he's like going up the ice. He's like kind of looking down, and like Foligno's coming back on his like into the zone. He's like, I'm gonna hit you. Like you got your head down, kind of like you're in a perfect spot. And he kind of tries to avoid it, gets his leg, tough bounce.
Yeah, it was really weird because the Dallas player, it looks like he's skating up and then he kind of spins out of it, but it also looks like Foligno stretches that leg out a little bit to try and make
The
contact.
thing is, I
and it
saw
was
an
a
angle
knee
where
on knee.
it looks like he's just diving in with the shoulder, and it just like hits. He clips the guy's knee. It's tough. He was out first shift of the game. He's out. It's a tough bounce for the guy, especially in Minnesota. I think they're in Minnesota, or are they in Dallas? I think they're in Dallas. That game's over 4-0.
Yeah, they're in Dallas.
Yeah, I'm watching this angle, and like obviously we were talking about slow motion, but it gives me a better angle of like Foligno never really stretches out, but it looks like he leads with that knee. It's so hard to tell. I I don't know. That's a really gray
It is.
area
It
call. I
is
have no
tough. It is
idea.
tough. But I mean, the thing is, the rules are the rules, and the rules are that if you hit pretty much your leg on another guy's leg, it doesn't matter the intent. You're pretty much going to get suspended for not suspended. You're going to get a 5 in a game for kneeing, which is tough because I mean, I know he's just I know Marcus Foligno is a fucking he's kind of not a dirty guy, but he said hard nosed, tough guy. I know he's not. I don't
He's
think
not a dirty
he's
player at
not
all.
trying to hurt him
No.
at all. There, I think he's just trying to finish his check and get his guys in the game, and it just did not pay off for him.
I think I can understand the 5 in a game, but I don't think it's suspension worthy.
I don't think so either.
Like I don't think any other
I
more
hope not.
discipline. And I honestly think because like he never like stretches out his knee to like make knee on knee contact. He was just kind of following through, and it just unfortunate that
Like
the knee
Scott
was
was
the
saying too,
first
when it's
thing.
going that fast, like he
Yeah.
in his mind, he's just thinking, I'm gonna try to hammer this guy through my shoulder. Damn, I clipped his fucking knee. You know what I mean? And you're done. You're done as soon as that happens. Like you're out of the game. But I guess you just got to be careful where you're leading in with your shoulders, with your legs, whatever. I don't know. It's all crazy.
His quotes after his bad penalties, though, he was just like, yeah, those 2 calls were absolutely bullshit. Like he just did not hold back. It was unbelievable. But yeah, these refs need to get checked up and they need to be retrained because like these calls have been absolutely horrendous.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think
across the board.
Yeah, I don't think that call is going to change though. That kneeing, I think that's going to stay. It's just tough though, because I mean it's like it might take out some guys' urge to get physical in a way. You know what I mean? Especially open ice.
Oh, keep
Open
it
ice hits are
respectable,
kind of
right?
hard, right? Especially if someone's moving out of
Don't
the
knee
way.
guys, man. Just don't knee guys. It's not that hard to not knee and not elbow. I know what you're saying.
When the play goes that fast, sometimes I guess it can be hard if a guy's trying to get around you and stuff, and you're trying to lay the
Miss
body.
the check, then you got to miss the check like that. I know what you're saying, and I don't think kneeing is one of those things that fits what you're talking about. I really don't think it's that hard to not knee a guy.
How do we feel this series plays out for the remainder? Brock Faber has been massive for Minnesota, making a few game-saving moments here. Another rookie coming out of college this year, but Dallas up 3-2 now. How do we think this finishes out?
I think Dallas is probably going to win it in 7. I had Mini winning though, but I think Dallas is just a stronger team, more offense.
Yeah, Dallas in 6, man. I don't think Minnesota had any business being in this one from the start.
Yeah, I think I got Dallas.
Pavelski loss is big though.
Yeah, it is big. But Tyler Seguin, he's kind of living up
He's
to that.
stepping up. He's playing
Yeah,
great this
yeah.
playoffs.
He's being
Oh,
that
he's
net
playing
front presence.
huge.
Yeah, he's stepping up when he's needed to. Like after that Pavelski loss, he's kind of filling that void, which is really nice. Which I think will kind of carry Dallas to an ultimate series win. But we'll move on. We'll move on. Probably let's get these snooze fest series out of the way. Carolina, New York. Hasn't necessarily been the most exciting series of these playoffs, but how have you boys felt about this one so far?
Real bad for Carolina, man. They are getting bit by so many injuries, man. It's terrible. Sebastian
Fucked.
Aho just ate a fucking puck today too. He's back on the ice, but he ate a puck today. Like I was like, oh my god, like these guys just can't catch a break.
Yeah, it's
They can't
insane.
catch a break, man. But they're still up 3-2. I have them beating the Islanders. I think the Islanders, that's a surprising win though, because they won that in Raleigh, I think. I think they won that in Carolina, but
Yeah.
I got Carolina in 6. They're gonna win the next game. And yeah.
Yeah, I think this is one of the most boring series, even though it had like the most potential, really, because like they might be the two most evenly matched teams, especially the Canes not having Sveshnikov. And you know, the Islanders having Sorokin, who is probably the best goaltender in the league right now. I know.
Top 3 minimum.
Yeah, Shesterkin wasn't last year. Vasi has it for the what he's done in the past, and Hellbuck's right there with Vasi. But this season alone, I'd say Shesterkin was the most impressive goaltender.
You mean
Sorokin.
Or
Sorokin?
sorry, Sorokin. Just pulled a rookie card of him too. No big deal.
How
But
are you?
just got real into hockey cards this week.
Love that.
Um,
Gonna be a millionaire one
but
day.
there's the
That's
this
it.
series is so irrelevant to me because I don't think the Canes can win without Svechnikov, and I don't think the Islanders can win anything.
Yeah.
I picked the Islanders in 7. It was the hot upset pick. A lot of people were doing it, and I think it was mostly on the back of Sorokin and what I just said, Svechnikov being out. I don't know how it ends, but again, my bracket's still alive. Isles in 7.
You got
Yeah,
Isles, eh?
yeah, I had Isles in 7 as well. I just think like Carolina making no moves at the deadline and having been snake bitten by these injuries was like a huge, like just a fucking unfortunate thing to happen to them. And I think Isles, for some reason, they just come to play. Like they made 2 straight Eastern Conference finals and was like 1 win away from the final itself. And I just think for some reason they always like find a way to scratch out wins. And with Sorokin there, um, I thought he would kind of like be the catalyst to win them the series. And I think they can win it still because it's such a back and forth, but I do ultimately think Carolina um takes game 6. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Isles force a game 7 and then it's up in the air.
Well, when you have a goalie like Sorokin, you're really in any playoff series, though, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Especially though, like just Carolina not having Sveshnikov, like you're saying, then losing
Teravainen.
Binen, then losing. I mean, you lost Pacioretty like 2 games into his thing, but like still, that's a big part of like their puzzle that they had going, and then like
Yeah.
just like everything, like it's just terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah,
Sorokin did his thing tonight too. He made 34 saves in that win.
Yeah.
It's hard for a goalie to steal more than one for you, so they're gonna have to come out and play hard.
They're gonna need to actually like score some fucking goals instead of
What
just
do we
winning.
think of
It's
Horvat? What do we
so
think of
boring,
Horvat?
dude. They're the most boring hockey team in
Yeah.
the league. I would be fine with being a fan of them, but I can't sit here and watch their hockey and enjoy it as an impartial viewer. Like if it's
Yeah.
my team, I'll be like, I wouldn't care at all. I'd be like,
We're the
we're
most
winning
exciting
hockey
team in
games.
the league.
Yeah, like
The
I thought
playoffs, baby.
The Patriots Rams most recent Super Bowl was extremely entertaining when it was what 13-6 or whatever. I
Yeah.
loved every second of it. Look at us shutting them down. That's that's exciting for me. But it's not as an impartial viewer. It's terrible to watch. I don't give a
Yeah.
shit about them. I'll root for the Canes. I'll pick the Isles. I'll root for the Canes because of Brent Burns. But so it's a win-win, right? I either get to be right or my boy moves on.
Yeah, no, 100%. But yeah, Emile, you brought it up.
Horvat,
hasn't been bringing it.
not at all.
Starts at 8.5 next year.
Islander fans hates him, man. Aren't they booing him?
Wouldn't be
They don't
surprised.
hate 'em.
They were booing him. He scored a nice breakaway though. He scored a nice breakaway goal, but it was
It's not his
Short-handed
fault.
goal.
It was like
Every
five.
fucking player in
It's
that
like
system
5-1.
gets goals.
It was like 5-1. They were booing Horvat. Tough bounce for the guy.
Amarillo, man. Nobody like you go to
Oh,
New York to just ruin yourself. Like your contract, he's lucky he's got it locked up because
Oh, he's
you
locked
can't
up.
score goals playing for the Islanders. It's a tale as old as time, man. They're like the early 2000s Devils, the late 90s Devils. They're the same shit.
A huge pointer, I think Rick Tocchet pointed out. Like Horvat, what kind of got him his success in Vancouver is that he was the bumper guy on the power play in
Yeah, or he
Vancouver.
just had the
But
hottest 4 months of his career. He didn't have any
but
success like that before this year. He was
but
good forward.
but also it's like the Islanders don't utilize that system on their power play, so it's like now he's just kind of a lone ranger out there, and now
Right.
they're just
But
expecting
it's
him
not
to
like
figure it
Horvat's
out.
this 100-point scorer for 6 years. He's a 100-point scorer for 4.5 months.
No,
Like he was
yeah,
down. It's not like if he stays in Van, does he continue to put those points up over the next 6 years consecutively? There's no way. I
yeah,
love Horvat and think he's a good player, but he also was playing the best hockey of his career by a mile.
yeah. And like
Like
I was never
everybody
on
goes on
board
hot
with it.
streaks.
Yeah, I was never on board with the 8.5, so I'm kind of
I
happy
love
when
him
it's like,
still as a player. I
yeah,
still think he's incredible, but that was just not sustainable play no matter what.
yeah,
It's the same with other things going on in Vancouver too. Like, JT Miller's season the year before, Kuzi's season this year. Great hockey players. They're not going to do that every single year.
yeah. I agree. I agree.
Other than
But
PD and Hughes. Those guys, that's a different level. These other ones, they're going on hot streaks.
what was it?
Yeah,
Patterson
yeah.
recorded
The
the
Islanders can
most.
have him for 8.5 and figure out the bumper
Bubble
position
Demko.
for him.
Where the hell's that? Like people go on runs, man.
I
Henson Carter,
mean,
if you want to really just
Demko was the absolute man after his injury. I think he was playing hurt all year,
it
but
wasn't Bubble
that's the point.
Demko.
That's
That guy. That
that's
guy
fair.
was
That
That
guy's
guy was a
different.
beast. He
yeah.
fucked us because now that put Aquilini thinking that we're contenders, but it was just Demko making 55 saves and taking us to overtime. But
Yeah.
let's go to Boston, Florida.
Oh.
Boston up 3-1 in the series. Florida taking one at from the TD Garden, 6-3. And we almost got a Kachuk Allmark fight in game
I
4.
love that.
That was absolutely electric. But Boston's depth is kind of coming through with
Oh my
Bergeron being out and like Allmark and not playing his greatest, and just Boston in general not playing their greatest. But Bertuzzi, Hall, Orlov, a lot of key additions
Orlov, man.
making an
Orlov,
impact.
what a pickup, dude.
Like
Jesus.
Boston's depth is coming through, and it's very similar to like Tampa's run in what was it, 2019 when they set the record for wins. It's like they weren't playing playoff hockey since November, but Florida but like Columbus was playing playoff hockey up until game 1 of the first round. Same kind of thing with Florida. It's like they came in and they made Bruins life hell in game 1 because they've been playing for that wild card spot for literally the entire season up until game 82, where Boston could kind of call it off since Christmas. But low-key entertaining series. A lot of people thought Boston would breeze by Florida. I had Bruins in 5. But how have your boys' thoughts on the series in general?
I still got Bruins at 5. I got them coming back. I think they play tomorrow night. They're gonna win tomorrow night against Florida, 4-1 gentleman's sweep. So not an actual sweep, Scotty, but a gentleman's ones. But yeah, I think Florida's played pretty good. Honestly, like they've been decent games. I don't mind watching Florida. Scotty, you're muted. Oh,
It's not a gentleman's sweep unless you win game 1.
no. Wait, did Boston not win game 1, or did Florida?
They did. Florida has to take game 1, then you take 4. That's the gentleman's sweep.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Whatever. 4-1. Whatever. Anyways, yeah, I think Florida's played pretty good. Matthew Tkachuk been solid for him. Brandon Montour, what a fucking player.
Dude, that guy is putting his dick on the table this season. It's fucking insane.
Yeah. Like they got rid of Uyghur and they're like, he's like, I'm the guy now.
Yeah.
And he's really been that guy. I think just goaltending, like not being able, Bobrovsky's not really, cutting it for Florida, obviously.
Leon played hot near the end of the season, but
kind of cooled off a bit. And
yeah.
I mean, like you said, like just having Bertuzzi, having these depth guys for Boston, like Taylor Hall is just doing his thing right now. And you got Brad Marchand, David Pasternak, it's hard. You got like their defense is nuts. You got Charlie McAvoy, Lindholm, Orlov on like 3 separate lines. I think it's just like bonkers what these guys can run. So
yeah,
I see these guys going all the way, and yeah, it's going to be in 5 against Florida for sure.
Yeah, Boston's too good, man. There's nothing there. There's just Florida just doesn't have it. Maybe last year's Florida team might have been able to stick with him a bit. They're just too deep all the way through. You got crazy fans saying like, "Oh, Mark shouldn't be playing. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life." The guy's gonna be a Vezina Trophy winner. They lose one hockey game. Like that makes me not want Boston to lose, kind of.
Yeah.
But I'm down. Like I'm down for them to win. A lot of people hate Boston, especially you guys being Canucks fans, because they beat you in one series one time, and you still hold a grudge. So they don't even think about you. But
Jesus, buddy.
I'm sorry. That's the biggest, most ridiculous thing about Canucks fans. They hate Boston so much.
I didn't
they beat them
riot.
one
Okay, I
time
didn't riot.
in
I didn't
one
riot.
series. People hate them so much. They play like literally. Bruins fans don't think about the Canucks. They don't. They think about the Habs and the Leafs. But I love all their great players. Bergeron to get one. Hopefully, gets back in soon. Marchand to get one. Be good to see Taylor Hall do one. And I'm a big Tyler Bertuzzi guy. I love the wings. I love to see how he's playing so far in this series. On to the Leafs. That's going to be a good series. I think Boston wipes the floor, but that's going to be a great series. It's going to be hard fought. That'll be good hockey right there.
What were your thoughts on Bertuzzi taking that? I think it was like Nick Cousins' stick or something like that into the bench, and then
And
One of the
breaking it?
best highlights of the entire
Yeah.
playoffs so far. I loved every second of that, except that he didn't break it. He tried to break it and couldn't.
Did he not
That was
break
the
it?
only bad part.
I thought he broke it.
No, he smashed it into the ice, couldn't break it. Then like the linesman came and took it.
Tough
It didn't
luck.
break.
Tough luck. We forgot to touch on Nick Hash fucking throwing a sucker punch at Brock Nelson when he got tossed into the bench there. That was a funny highlight. I don't know if you guys caught that.
Oh yeah, I saw that. What was
Yeah.
that guy's problem? But he just got tossed on the bench. Like, suck it
Yeah.
up and get off. Like,
I think they like tried to break his stick or something like that, and then he just threw a jab.
because Nelson got tossed into the Carolina bench, right? And then
No, Nick Hash got tossed into the Islanders bench.
right,
And then
right.
I think they took Nick Hash's stick and tried to break it like Bertuzzi did. And then Nick Hash threw a jab at one of the Islanders players. I think it was Brock Nelson. And then got out and went to get a new stick, and then Islanders are crying for a penalty. But it was hilarious. But I want to talk about this Allmark and Kachuk almost fighting. Do you think this is a pansy move by Kachuk going after Allmark for absolutely no reason? Or was there a part earlier in the game where Allmark pissed Kachuk off, but I didn't necessarily see that.
I think that's just Kachuk stirring the pot, doing his thing.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't think they were ever going to actually fight. I don't think that would ever happen. I don't think a Boston player would ever let that happen, like a player fighting your goalie. I liked how Allmark took his mask off and was like,
Oh,
I'm ready to
dude.
go. And he was like, I'm going to get kicked out for this. I don't care. Like, he was pumping up the crowd.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I thought Kachuk plays his role perfectly on that Florida team. Just the devil. I don't know. I love watching that guy. Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with him trying to fight a goalie. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, a player's going to jump in before any of that kind of stuff happens, especially on the Boston Bruins. But hey, it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
100%.
problem with Kachuk there, man. He's doing his job and
Trying to get under the thing. Game's already lost at that point. And he's just like, let's just try and
he
fucking.
didn't cheap shot anybody. He's just being entertaining, pissing people off. I love every second of it.
And I like how Allmark played a little bit of it too. Like he wasn't just like trying to like skate off. Like he was trying to get himself involved in it too. And it's like that's showing that he's engaged. That's getting his boys pumped up. That's getting Florida pumped up.
Yeah.
Good stuff. No one got hurt. We're good to go.
B's in 5 still.
Oh yeah, B's in 5. Surprised
agree.
it's not B's in 4, but
I had 5 from the get-go. I knew Florida would squeak out 1, but I thought they'd squeak out 1 in Florida. I didn't think they'd take 1 in Boston, but you guys should have just seen this Broberg spill that he took on the bench. He was going like 100 miles per hour into Edmonton's bench and shoulder first, just like took a spill and he went to the dressing room. Tough to see. But we're
is that the 7th D?
what's that?
Is Vinny Desharnais the 7th D today? Or like is Edmonton still dressed in 7D 11 forwards?
Fucking boys, bet LA money line if Broberg's out because Desharnais is gonna get some ice time. Fucking hell. All right, we're going to my honorary team for this for the 5 weeks I'm in Toba. We're going to Jets Vegas. Winnipeg stealing a clutch game 1 in Vegas 5-1, just absolutely giving a pumping to Vegas, and then Vegas goes on to take the next 3. But I don't know if this is a hot take. I think Winnipeg's been the far better team this series. I think they've had majority of the chances and just haven't been able to capitalize. They're missing
A
four
lot
of
of
their
guys.
best
Yeah.
5 players. They're missing Morrissey, Ehlers, Perfetti, and now Scheifele's day to day. It's just unfortunate. It's very similar to Carolina. It's just like
Yeah.
it's so hard to like climb back from that when you're missing a Norris caliber defenseman this year in Josh Morrissey, and Scheifele's always showed up in the playoffs and been a huge player for the Jets, and it's just unfortunate to see game 3, that comeback that the Winnipeg Jets had in the third period, climbing back from
They needed that OT win. They needed that OT win.
They win that one, they might win it all. They
Yeah,
might win
they
out
needed that
the entire
that
series.
comeback and that win in that stadium on that first game at home would have been crazy. But who scored it for Matteo scored, and it was just like a tough giveaway by Sandberg.
Sandberg, he goes up the wall there. Winnipeg wins that game.
Sandberg
But
stinks, man.
yeah, it was
A
just
tough
like
bounce.
such a
Tough bounce
dumb,
right there, man.
such a dumb play by him. But overall thoughts on the series, boys?
It's been really
Extremely disappointed. Extremely disappointed. Winnipeg sucked down the stretch. There's no reason to believe they could do anything. But I hate Vegas.
yeah.
And I thought maybe Helba could steal a series, like we all think Sorokin might be able to steal one. Vegas, the better team. I don't think they're a great team. I don't think they have any business with Edmonton, Colorado, Dallas, but they are the better team. Winnipeg didn't play good hockey in this calendar year.
No,
The
they
Sharks
didn't.
beat them twice badly. And that's where I base most of my hockey knowledge on. How'd you play against San Jose? They fucking suck, dude. So they're not a good team. The Sharks beat them. They're the reason the Sharks are 4th in the lottery instead of 1st. The team sucks. Vegas in 5.
I
Bad
had
win.
I had the Jets in 7 because I just had this hunch that Winnipeg, they either come up in the playoffs or they disappoint. But they managed to sweep Edmonton in the playoffs one year, and I just think I thought they would have some of that magic. And Scott, I don't know if you heard me prior, but I think Winnipeg's been the better team this series. It's just a matter of not being able to capitalize on chances. I think they've been more dominant. It's just when you lose Morrissey and Scheifele in a matter of 2 games, it's just so hard to kind of climb back from that. And unfortunate giveaways in tough moments have kind of stole it for Vegas. But I've liked Winnipeg more as a per 60. I guess it's just the score doesn't show that.
Well, they showed a lot of fight. I like the fight the Jets have shown at least. Like they've made every game pretty entertaining to watch against Vegas.
Yeah.
I just think it's too hard when you lose like you're saying, like you can't lose Josh Morrissey, like not have Ehlers and then lose Scheifele yesterday, and then like you're saying Perfetti too. That's a big part of them. He was like a really good like solid scorer for them this season. It's like
he's gonna be
you can't be missing. You can't be missing all these guys and expect to be good in the playoffs, and it's just not working out for them. But I want to know how the atmosphere was yesterday because it looked fire.
Dude, it was electric factory, brother. It was like my
whiteout completely.
Did you go with anyone?
No, I just went solo, baby.
So did you meet anyone there? Did you have a time or what?
Yeah, I went to this pub right across the street and called the Tavern. And I got a burger in wrap form because they didn't have any gluten-free buns or anything. They put a double stacked cheeseburger in like a tortilla. And I'm like, yo, this is kind of gas, not gonna lie. It was pretty fire. But yeah,
they didn't have to do it.
Gassed a couple beers there. They had a happy hour from doors opening to the end of warm-up. So it was like $6 beers. So snagged a couple of those. And tall boys were like $13, which like honestly isn't bad compared to like Rogers, where it'd be like 29, I swear. But no, the atmosphere is great. Very small arena.
I was gonna ask you what is it like?
They only hold like 15 something, right?
Like the arena isn't big and it's very like steep. So from my perspective, I couldn't really see the closest corner to me. It was like some of it was kind of cut off by the people below me.
That sucks, man.
It was like, and it wasn't like I couldn't see from like the post to the corner. It was just like a slight sliver, but having to kind of
the best parts about Rogers. You can see the whole ice from any seat in the house.
Yeah, and like so that's why I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of, I can't really like see what's going on. Like I had to kind of like kind of poke
You have
up a
to lean
little
over
bit.
when it tells you not to lean
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, but like when everyone's doing it, you doing it doesn't make it any
Of
better
course. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
so it's just like it was kind of pointless, but also like I was nosebleeds, but I felt pretty close because the arena was so small and it got loud in there and just seeing like rally towels and everything like that for the first time in a decade. It was cool to see. It was a
What was
really
it like
cool
outside?
atmosphere.
They have a pretty good party outside too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool seeing it from that perspective instead on TV because you usually see like the drone camera coming like over top, but seeing it like all set up, it was like, yeah, it looked like an absolute time. They had like food vendors on like one side of the street and then like the TV where everyone watches the game and like everyone was meeting up there.
Nice.
It was pretty fire. It was really cool to see.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good stuff. Too bad they
yeah,
didn't win at least one at home. That would have been nice.
yeah. Yeah, it kind of sucked, but it seemed like game 3 was the game to be at.
Yeah.
But it was I didn't have a chicken dick's chance of getting a ticket because like as soon as they went on sale, they were sold out.
You like
So
Nate Schmidt's giveaway yesterday?
fucking holy shit! I needed both hands to count the turnovers I saw. It
Oh,
was
Schmitty.
yeah, fucking Pierre-Luc Dubois is the most confusing player to watch because he looks like he's doing good and then he'll just like not shoot when he has an open shot and then turn it over and then take a penalty and it's like, oh. You're not good. You're just a liability now because he
Yeah.
had that knee in penalty on Stone. Kind of, it was honestly probably worse than Felino's, but
Oh, was it on Stone or was it on Eichel? Didn't he trip Eichel or something too yesterday?
yeah, he tripped Eichel, but it was kind of
But
a bullet. But this, I think the knee was on Stone.
oh,
Um, but he did take a tripping penalty on Eichel, and then everyone thought it was a dive on Eichel, and then they started booing Stone and Eichel because they were just dickheads.
yeah.
For the rest of the game, but um. Are we all in agree that Adam Lowry is better than Connor McDavid? I don't know what it is in
Dude,
the playoffs.
he's a stud, dude. He's one of the few top bottom six guys that's an actual difference maker.
Yeah, like I don't know what it is come playoff time. This guy always shows up in big spots.
Yeah, it was a big goal he scored in game 3. Jeez.
Yeah, I was talking to a Winnipeg fan and I was like, "What's with this Adam Lowry guy?" Like I know I've watched him so long, but whenever it hits playoffs, he shows up. And he's like he deserves the captaincy since like Blake Wheeler's not going to be it. I think he's the only one that like shows up in big moments and he's never a pussy. He's always there when we need him and he's like the perfect he's like a coach's dream. He's physical and he always comes up in big spots and I'm like that's fair. And he's also been on the team for a hot minute as well. So
Yeah, I don't really follow the Jets that much, but I mean, like, damn, like a guy saying he should be captain, like that's pretty big.
yeah.
That's pretty big.
But no, like the pregame ceremonies and like building got loud. And the true north part of the anthem, when they just get absolutely fucking loud for that, just yell it on cue during the anthem. That was pretty unique. That was pretty cool.
Mm. I
But
like how it's all white. It looks sick in there.
yeah, it's fire. People are wearing like robes from hotels to like get the white out and stuff. It's
Oh,
insane. Some of
really?
the outfits you see. It's
Oh,
insane.
so it doesn't have to be a Winnipeg jersey. You just have to wear white.
No, like yeah, they were wearing like bathrobes from like
That's kind of
hotels.
sick. Kind of a
Yeah,
sick way to pull up to a game.
yeah, it's insane. But
I'll put my bathrobes and chocolate. No big deal.
exactly. But I can't see Winnipeg coming back after
No.
losing so many key pieces. I think Vegas closes it out. But as an honorary Jets fan, Jets in 7.
I got Vegas in 6.
Yeah, I had Jets in 7, so we're sticking with it. Of course, I don't think it's going to happen, but this
You
Vegas team's nothing. This Vegas team's a bunch of nobodies. They're not winning shit anybody. Anyway,
yeah,
Which one? The Knights?
yeah, they're trash, man. They're not. They're
I don't
not. They're
think they
not the
make it
inaugural
past the
Knights.
second
They're not
round.
going. They're not going anywhere. We got
Yeah.
nothing to worry about. I am going to Vegas though in a few weeks, and we're going to catch a game probably if they are still playing. But
We
I'd
should
rather
hope
not.
they should make it then, because that'll be
I'd
sick.
rather. I can't risk the chance of them going to the final and winning shit because I hate them so much. It's better if it's just better for me if they're not there.
It's better to
Yeah.
just hit the casino instead, eh?
Let's get rid of them early so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, 100%. Also, before we move on, Mark Stone scored 2 goals on 420, so he's living up to his name.
Big stat.
Yeah, big stat. Hashtag stat guy. Bukestad scored to make it 4-2, and now Phoenix Copley's in net for Corpusalo. So
Interesting.
He's
maybe
been
go
good though. That Copley's been real
Corp-
good.
yeah, he's
Corpusala didn't pull
solid.
off the no, I'm not getting
He's been
pulled.
solid. Yeah. He doesn't have the power Vasi has.
He doesn't have the Vasi
Yeah.
powers.
Last series here, Colorado, Seattle.
This has been a hell of a series, buddy.
This has been absolutely insane.
Yeah, I love it.
I didn't
Makar
like
suspended, man.
Yeah, that's the first point I was getting to. I fucking one of the stupidest plays I've ever seen from a player.
People are saying that he thought he had the puck.
I hated it. I hated Makar for doing that.
That's what I'm reading. Why would Makar do that? That's not a Makar play. I believe that theory.
No.
100%.
No fucking shot.
McCann doesn't have the puck, and he's like
it went up. The save went up. The puck's lost in the air. He thought McCann picked it up off the rebound, so he finished his check. Why would Makar do that? You have to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's a great player. He's never done anything stupid in his entire career. Why doesn't he just flick a switch right there and do that? It was just
a dumb play. McCann gave it. McCann pulled up. McCann pulled up. He wasn't.
We're talking about a generational talent, one of the most intelligent hockey players that's ever been on the ice. He doesn't have those just mental lapses.
I think he probably did there. I don't think.
I agree. I think that was a mental lapse.
Makes way more sense than anything. Makar doesn't do that shit, dude. He wouldn't do that.
But McCann looks so vulnerable too. Like just going there, like that guy in a playoff game, he doesn't. He doesn't have the puck there. He's just like standing up, like he's just like not even a part of the play because he knows the puck went out, and then Makar just lays him out for no reason.
The way McCann,
I don't think Makar would do that. I really.
The way McCann was skating, he pulled up.
No more than one game. No more than one game. It's fine.
The way McCann was skating, he pulled up and he was like skating like the play was over. Why would he think he had the puck? It was just insane that he would do that. I don't know. Maybe
I was reading while watching the video. Really put it together well. Made sense.
I just can't imagine that it's like you thought he had the puck. It's just like that doesn't really make sense to me. I thought the one thing maybe
it makes more sense than Makar pulling that shit because Makar doesn't do that.
The one thing maybe
Makar's an evil guy.
The one thing I maybe think happened is like it's playoff hockey. Sometimes you try to stir shit up, like get some momentum going your way. And maybe he was just trying to edge him into the boards even after the whistle's gone and like the puck was out of play, just to like maybe get him to take a penalty on you, like that kind of thing. And maybe he just went a bit too hard because you always see some like dumb hits after the whistle, whether it's like you just like kind of ride a guy into the boards. Maybe he went a bit too aggressive, but it just didn't. In no scenario do I see the puck after getting deflected up get into McCann's stick that quickly and then like hitting him. I just like don't really see it.
Yeah, there's no way.
But
can I got a question because this is how do they call that? They call that a 5-minute major, I think, right? Because they can review it, right? They reviewed it, and then they said no penalty on the play, right? But then Makar gets suspended 1 game. Like, where's the fucking line, bro?
I think they called the 2-minute interference.
Player safety is not involved in those calls, so that's there's been guys that have been suspended on penalties that
that haven't happened, right? Like there's that.
Exactly.
Just because I feel like there needs to be a penalty regardless, like a 2-minute penalty at least for everything that gets.
Jevin's saying they did give him 2 on it.
Yeah, Makar got called a 5, and then they took it down to a 2 for interference.
Just a 2 for interference. Okay.
Yeah. Interference. He didn't have the puck, Scott.
That's as clear as an interference.
He thought he did, dude. He thought he did.
Well, Makar's a fucking idiot if he thinks he had the puck.
But do you think all he plays hockey? He's got no brains.
Makar's an idiot. We're in trouble, boys. A lot of it.
What's that?
Makar's an idiot. We're in trouble.
I would never pull that hit off. No fucking chance.
Yeah, because you can't skate.
I'm not on the ice with McCann. You're right.
But
hey, but you just took out the Kraken's fucking leading goal scorer, so you need to get suspended for that. That's fucked up. It's like taking out McKinnon Rantanen on the other side. Same fucking thing.
Yeah. Jared McCann. Remember when the Canucks traded him for a pile of bucks and a couple of McDoubles?
Hey man, Eric Branson went 3rd overall, buddy. Don't talk shit about him.
But I could for a long time.
Remember when
the worst part about Eric Branson?
Remember when the Leafs also
miserless player, and then he put one on. Shame.
Yeah, true. Remember when the Leafs also protected Kerfoot over Jared McCann? That's funny. I mean, I guess
It is funny.
Alex Kerfoot
Hey,
took
hold
in.
on, hold on. That was a big goal yesterday.
Yeah,
That was a big goal.
first time I've heard his
How
name
many
all
playoff
series.
OT winners does Jared McCann have?
Probably gonna have one by the end of the series.
Yeah,
Jordan, can we just talk about Jordan Eberle? Clutch
yeah,
guy.
The
Guy's a
man
clutch guy.
yeah.
always has
Huge.
been.
He's
Oh
massive.
my god.
Seattle's depth is coming through, man. It's insane. They're coming in waves against Colorado. Um, Colorado's vulnerable depth is kind of coming through, but the dog and Rantanen are also coming to play too. And one storyline I had going in to the playoffs was whenever I see a goalie have a save percentage starting with 8, I don't trust him, and that's exactly what Grubauer had all season. But this guy's seeming like his revenge story started as soon as the puck dropped. Started in game 1, and he went to Seattle. After turning down a contract from Colorado because he just seems to be playing pretty good against his former team.
Yeah.
The Kraken, man, they're just doing what they've done all year long. Like you said, with the depth. The goaltending bump's nice because they haven't had that all year. Martin Jones was terrible. Grubauer wasn't any better. Somehow they kept winning games, but yeah, they're an interesting team. They're
Pesky
not
team.
They have
they're not
no stars, man. It's nuts.
they're not, and that means they have no business winning anything. But like in the long run, there's no way this team can win a cup, man. There's not a chance this team
They
can
need to
win a
get
cup.
somebody, but they
They
have
can
they
win a
have a
series.
foundation.
They can maybe win 2, and they're building that foundation for a star to want to sign there.
Yeah.
Austin Matthews lose first round again. Next year they lose it again. Maybe Seattle looks pretty nice. Shane Wright's a 40-goal scorer now. Like,
Yeah.
That's a hell of an arena too, man. It looks fun there. It looks like a good stadium, good
I'm
fans.
Platinum
happy
pledge.
for him.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
happy for that
hey,
organization.
I know Vancouver Canucks fans should hate Seattle, but hey, I'm happy that there's someone on the West Coast getting some.
It'll come. It'll come in
getting
time.
some. Oh, I'm sure it will, but for now,
Sometime
they
10,
look
20
they look
now.
like an underdog team that's right now just putting it up, putting their best
They
foot
did it
forward
all
against
year.
the
That's
defending
what it
champs.
was for 30 games. And then it was like, okay, they exist. They're legit. Like,
I know New Jersey was better all season, but I kind of like see similarities in New Jersey and Seattle where just in terms of like where their team is, where it's like they took a huge leap forward. I just think any ride into the playoffs
they're
is
kind of
is a
the
successful
unexpected
season,
quality team.
is like a successful season, and they're just kind of showing out what their team could be for free agents to sign there in the off season. It's like we're not going to do anything crazy at the trade deadline. We're not going to sacrifice any future that we have. We're just
Well,
going
we're
to
trade a bunch for Timo Meyer, but
well, that's different because like I'm talking about for like a rental. Like
yeah,
Timo Meyer's like a long-term thing. That's
right.
completely different. Like they
They
didn't
are pretty much the same situation,
yeah.
though. You're right. Like,
So
this
like
kind of out of nowhere, pretty good team. Other than they're built very differently. The team's built very
yeah.
differently, but they're in the exact same spot
Yeah.
of where they are in like their building stage.
100%. And I just think if they take Colorado to 7 and lose, I think that's successful. If they make it a competitive
If they
second
got
round
swept
team,
by Colorado, that was a great year for
yeah.
them.
So I think this has been Seattle's turned heads for sure, and I think a lot of teams are going to be interested in potentially going to them in the offseason, or a lot of players, sorry, are going to be thinking about maybe dabbling in
Who the hell is this
Seattle.
Vince Dunn guy just getting it done, man?
Dude,
Who
holy
are these guys, man?
fuck, he came to play
Yanni
this year,
Gourde,
man.
Geeky,
Dude,
these guys.
these guys have been good. All these guys have been good, not great, and they finally got a chance to shine.
Yeah.
Just like William Karlsson coming through, Shea
Yeah.
Theodore, all that.
Marcia
These
so.
are all 3 of the names you just said, Emile, were all solid players before they got there, and now they get a bigger role, and they're just running with it.
It's good. It's
Like,
good to see. I mean,
absolutely.
it's I like seeing it, and it's good. It's against a defending chance because I think that the Avs need a little bit of a you know,
Mavs aren't the
they
same
need a bit
Mavs.
of a test here.
Without Kadri as 2C, with no Landeskog, I don't give a shit about Kemper being gone. He didn't do anything last year anyway. They could have won that cup with Gorgiev. They're not the same Avs though without those 2 guys, without Kadri and Landeskog, man. And now Makar for a game. It's not the same team. I still thought they could do it, and when the way they played San Jose a couple of months back, Jesus, I'm like, this team is winning the cup again. But no Landy is so big, and no 2C. They got JT Compher playing 2C. Like, come on, man.
You're gonna need something a little bit more solid than that. But
the Leafs have O'Reilly playing 3C, and you got Compher playing 2C. That's not a team built to win a cup right now.
Yeah, exactly. And but one player I like seeing, he's really playing higher to his potential is Bowen Byram. I think this kid's
He
playing
has
so
looked great.
solid now. He's looked so good both sides of the puck. And he was unfucking believable when Cale Makar was out. His last injury in the regular season when he was out for a bit. Bowen Byram was fucking unbelievable. So I would say like I'm worried about Cale Makar missing a game because any series can turn on a dime in one game. So Cale Makar missing that is
That is
massive for
massive.
Seattle. But Bowen Byram, the way he played as the guy on the back end, I can't say I'm as worried as I thought I'd be because of how Bowen Byram has replaced him when he
Yeah.
was hurt earlier.
Yeah, that guy's a stud.
The old
That guy
tinted
just
booster.
he's so good. He's so good, man. I saw him yesterday. I think he was like mic'd up and he was talking to Eric Johnson. It's like they're saying he's like 13. It's like 13 years apart or something between the two, and it's like just nuts because like he's so young and he's
It's
just
also nuts
he's
that
so
he's that
quick,
young having to be a
so
freaking
young, so
child.
talented, and just he's already won a cup, and it's just
Yeah.
like crazy. You can already tell he's got a good amount of experience under his belt already. So yeah, like you said, like without Makar in there, they still got him. They still got Gerard. They still got guys back there. Devon Taves. They got
Yeah,
guys.
he's incredible.
Yeah, he's so
Shout out
good.
to Cranbrook, BC too, Jevin. That's where Byram's from. You spent some time over there, eh?
Yeah, just a little bit. Went to a nice BP, had a frosted Budweiser. How are you? One of the
You run
best
into
beers I've one of the best beers I've ever had in my life after a 9 hour drive. Had a fucking Budweiser in a frosted glass with like some ice chips at the top because of how cold the beer got. Oh man.
you run into
Fucking
Mr. and Mrs. Byram or what?
yeah, they were actually at my table. I was like, I have Byram getting the anytime point game one. Better fucking live up to it.
Better hit it.
Yeah. I don't know if he did or not. Wouldn't be surprised if he did. But how do we see this series finishing, boys?
Well, initially I had the Avs being the Kraken in 5, but I'm gonna have to switch that up completely. I'm gonna go Kraken in 7.
Kind of like it though.
Yeah, I had Avs in 5, I think, too. And so since that's out the door, we'll go. I like the way the series is playing. Avs in 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Scotty Abs in 7, but man,
7. It's going to 7, boys. That's
Se
all that matters. We got a game 7.
Seattle's a pesky team, and I wouldn't be surprised if they fucking claw it out in 6. Like the way Seattle's been playing, it's fucked. So,
And Matty
Whoever's
Beniers, we gotta talk about that guy too. Matty Beniers, what a fucking
oh, he's
rookie season this guy's having.
he's gonna be
He's
a
okay.
Big
stud.
goal yesterday. This guy's fucking unreal. Pardon me?
He's an okay player, eh?
He's not
not bad.
bad. Tell you that for fucking free. He's not bad.
He's gonna make a couple bucks in his career for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely for sure. Well, boys, this has been an absolute time and a half. Has your cup pick changed at all throughout this first bit of the playoffs?
I've been saying I'll ride my bracket all the way, no matter what. Yeah, I don't think the Oilers are winning the cup anymore. They can hardly get through LA. I'll switch it to Boston. I'll switch it to Boston. Don't tell whatever it is the NHL that when I win the bracket challenge. But yeah, I'll take Boston if Bergeron comes back. If Bergeron's not back, we got the Leafs.
Oh,
I thought last year if the Leafs beat Tampa, they were going to the cup final. And I still think that if they beat Tampa, they can 100% get to the final.
I like Boston with Bergeron and the Leafs more than I like Edmonton, who I picked 4 games ago. So I got Boston or Leafs now.
I'm still riding Edmonton to the
Cup's
final.
going back to the East where it belongs.
I think I just feel like LA is they're a deep team, and I think they're going to be one of the harder teams Edmonton plays on the road to the cup final. And I think if they can get through them, it'll get them ready for
LA stinks, man. They got
no, they don't, bro.
They do.
No, they don't.
no, they
You're
don't.
fucking
You
delusional.
trade away a
buddy.
franchise Hall of Fame goaltender, you're trash.
For Corpusalo.
Who was an absolute Swiss cheese, lightly cut.
I don't care. That's a franchise goat. You don't do that.
You just
Doesn't
hate
matter.
LA.
That's garbage. That's garbage. Absolute garbage. They call it Bush League where I'm
The
from.
way they handled it, fine, but was it smart? Yes. They had
Is
to
it
do
though?
it.
Is it the way
Yes.
it? No, it's not. It is from a cap perspective, but not the way it runs through your locker room. Not the way it's got Kopitar and Doughty crying at pressers. It's not
I
smart
guess
to make your
so.
star players feel that way.
Well, I
Yeah,
just think
they're
the way
playing
I
they
better.
understand what
had
you're saying financially, and like if this is NHL 23, the video game, yeah, it's the right move, but it's
or
not.
it's just like you're getting two better players for a guy who just wasn't good.
Korpisalo is nobody anyway. This guy ain't in the
Oh
running
my
for Vezinas.
God.
He's never done shit in the league.
But they
Should have
like what
stuck
they
with
saw.
Copley, who was doing it for your squad all year, and have Quick on the bench, man.
Well,
Call up
Corpusal is
the
not
guy
going to get
you
today.
just signed to a $5 million deal, who did it for you last year, Cal Peterson. They had 3 goalies already.
Dude, that guy
And they went and
sucks ass, dude.
Cal Peterson.
He
He's on
didn't though. He was
waivers.
a $5 million deal, man.
Yeah. And he showed his true self when he got some real fucking ice time. He's on the waivers and in the minors now.
So was Korpisalo tonight, as he's giving up 5 in 30 minutes, man.
Yeah, well,
Tough.
he was a fucking part of the reason why you changed your pick from Edmonton to Boston. So suck on that one, Scotty.
Edmonton sucks. LA sucks.
You're
I don't like
unbelievable.
Pacific Division teams, man.
You're unbelievable, dude. Holy shit. What an ending, boys. Has your cup pick changed, Emile?
I haven't. I did
After
it by
Scotty's
round.
rant, we didn't get a chance.
I did it by round. But I haven't. I don't have my cup, but I'll just say I got Boston. I got Boston. Yeah. I just think that team is just dangerous. I think whoever they come up against, they just got. If they can stay healthy, I think the main thing is if that team can stay healthy, have fun playing them in 7 games. Any team that plays them in the West and the East, have fun because that thing is. I don't want to say it, but they just look unbeatable, really, with the goaltending, with the additions they made at the trade deadline, with their forward depth. It's just nuts. And you got Taylor Hall on your second line, ripping like some of the most points in the playoffs. And you got Tyler Bertuzzi on your third. Then you got Patrice Bergeron, Marchand, and Pasternak on your first line. What the fuck do you do with that?
Yeah, it's
Like,
crazy.
So, yeah.
Doesn't matter
Dangerous team.
doesn't matter because Edmonton's gonna be standing in their way, baby. Edmonton's still riding.
We ride. Oil Kings.
We ride loyal to the oil, as Heat Daddy said it on Twitter. Loyal to the oil. Well, boys, this was a fun episode. Thank you so much for coming on once again. You guys are you always come in clutch for your boy. Where can the people follow you on social media if they ever choose to?
Emile
We're gonna
_
catch it.
Tracy on Instagram, Twitter, Emile Tracy, I believe. Yeah, that's all.
Fucking rights.
Facebook
Scotty?
if you want.
_Scott Ani, Twitter. Check out Leafs Nation, Blue Jays Nation, some BCHL stuff if you want.
Fucking rights. We love that. You can follow me on Instagram at Jevon.Lefave, on Twitter at JevonLefave. Find everything for the show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at LeftsideHeavy_. Watch on YouTube, Left Side Heavy. Subscribe, like, comment, love it, share it. And anywhere you get your podcasts, rate and review. Really helps grow the show. Thank you for listening once again. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Suns in 5.